This is Willisdon Farms, and it's owned by the Thomas family. Shannon and I work in the business here on behalf of the Thomas family. We're a sheep and beef business. We also have dairy interests as well. We're just about 40 minutes east of Christchurch and currently in Prices Valley, which is a very special place. And we're currently in a QE2 covenant that was protected by Noel Thomas, the current owner's mother, and it's been a really important part of the identity of the business.
You've got like a productive farming system working alongside some pretty incredible native forest. How do both ecosystems complement each other on farm?
Well, really, we're farming a land asset, and it's about protecting the land asset. And the productive part of the farm is to create a profit and to actually create revenue streams that actually then can be reinvested back into the land assets. That allows us to be sort of have a mosaic within the landscape of highly productive areas of the farm, whilst protecting a whole lot of really important biodiversity, which has long-term benefits, not just for enjoyment of us working here, but actually enhancing the land assets themselves. All of the bush and the very special areas of biodiversity we have on the farm, they might not necessarily provide a revenue stream on an annual basis, but they're actually part of the asset of the business, and so they're invaluable and irreplaceable.
What are some of the actions you guys have taken on your place to ensure that you can have a productive farming system for the future, and also alongside that have these beautiful forests flourishing?
So look, a couple of things. I guess that the important thing is we actually get support from a group of people to give us advice and create a plan as to what we want to do for the long term. So we have a long-term biodiversity management plan. We've got a long-term plan to progressively fence in certain areas that are more appropriate for biodiversity than farming, where excluding livestock, and that means that we can actually concentrate our productive part of the farm on the areas where we're getting the most return in terms of growth, in terms of animal performance, in terms of income generation. We partnered with neighbours within the catchment, and we came together and created a pest management program to try and eradicate, or actually get the numbers as low as we can. Obviously the pigs and the goats has been a really big part of it, because they've had the most impact, both on the biodiversity but also the productive farmland as well. So we've got to a point with the goats that they've been eliminated, and then the pigs we're very close to get it. We've got a lot of those numbers down, very few of them left.
Now that you've got the goats gone, it's incredible through here.
The regeneration of the biodiversity has been amazing. Part of the challenge has been to actually have productive livestock in the same environment as biodiversity, and the pests actually are bad for both. So it impacts all that understory and opens it up and allows the livestock into the bush where they normally wouldn't go. And so getting rid of all those goats and the pigs has been immense.
How do you guys feel? Shannon, how do you feel when you're out here mastering stock in this type of farming system?
It's pretty incredible. The blocks that have the bush and scrub, it's always the ones I enjoy the most. It might sound crazy because it makes it a bit harder to muster, but it's just really enjoyable being out, hearing the birds, and it's just nice. I think the stock enjoy it, and not only does it seem to hold the moisture around the bush, but it's also a good shade and protection at lambing. You always see them tucked underneath a tree when they have their lambs, which is always quite neat to see. You see them all bunker down into the shade when it's hot or when it's bad weather. They bunker down in there as well. So I think that's the part that I really enjoy, is just seeing it work with the stock. You
have quite an environmentally diverse farm. On the coast it's quite dry, and up here in the head of the valley it's nice and wet and it's essentially drought proof, eh? And so what role do you think the forest plays in retaining water in that landscape?
Well, look, it's a big part of not just water, but also sediment loss as well. So what it allows us to do is to be able to be productive in certain areas, and for that to actually have a softening impact on the environment. So it's retaining water, but it's also protecting any sediment loss, any nutrient loss as well. So it's an important part of the balance of the farm.
So when it rains and it floods, I've noticed your streams are beautiful cobble-bottom streams. You have a lot of bush hugging those rivers. And so when it rains, you mustn't have a lot of dirt washing off into those creeks, because you've got the forest around those bank systems. And you're sitting against a giant kahikatea here, and the kahikatea's job is to suck the excess nutrients out of that surface water before it gets to your creeks, And is that a strategy you use as part of your farming system?
Well, it's probably not a strategy, but it is one of the real assets of this farm and farm system. So it's not an active strategy because, of course, these trees have been here a lot longer than farming's been in this environment. So it's about, using those natural assets that are within the land environment to actually for good outcomes.
How did you become this farmer that cares so much, both about productive farming, but also the environmental values on farm?
Well, I don't think that's unique. I think all farmers in New Zealand are passionate about the environment. I grew up on a farm, came from a farm, and always wanted to be on a farm. I think producing food is ultimately the most important career you can have in the world.
Yeah, in a world where our social license to farm is being questioned, you guys are shining examples. As you say, most farmers care about the environment. Most farmers love spending time in their bush blocks on farm, and most farmers are actively doing work to enhance these ecosystems. And I'm just so impressed by clearly being able to see such a response in these ecosystems to the work that you've been doing. To be able to walk through the bush, to pick piko and see the abundance here. I mean, it's absolute testament to the way you guys manage your farms in this really highly productive farming system.